Good afternoon. Hello, everybody. We're live tonight with Siba, Ptah Seeker Asar. We're going to be talking about times and seasons, um, cosmic truths regarding time. So I'm passing it over to Ptah Seeker Asar.
Dua usiba. Panata apu pamaat. Onkwas de jed. Onkuja seneb. Uben napikir panebuhru ma'ati. Rising always in divine excellence with ma'at. Every day, all day. All day, every day. Anuk Patal Sikasa, I am the royal scribe, master craftsman, and keeper of time of our cosmic time. In today's broadcast, the topics will be specifically dealing with New Year's Knot and the Hellenistic night that you have to survive on December 31st. We're going to go into it, how they're going to put you into a spell and how they're going to Hellenize you and lobotomize you. But even before I begin, let me first perform my Hesi, my Saku, my affirmation, my cosmic libation, so that I may address the cosmic forces that afford, allow us love, guidance, protection through the daily experiences of ponderable matter. And I shall begin. Hete poo, hete poo, hete poo. Dua, dua, dua oo. Anazarak, Ramech, Hotep. Greetings and divine greatness, divine excellence to the first families of the New Age Order. My Nagas, my Shemsurus, my Nesubitis, my Hemets, Sibas, Sibats, Mutnatats, the immortal ones of Ma'at, cherished. Phenomenon of precession, New Age Order, Great Golden Age of Ma'at Hapi Asar, and all citizens, descendants of the Nile Valley Cultural Cosmic Collective Consciousness Spirituality. O Ast Ermut Pat Nataru Pa Nebu, the mother of the Netarus, the mistress of Pet, the maker of mankind. She who is mighty in Usa Medu Nefer Heka U, divine words of power, mother of all initiations, bless and protect us humble servants for Ankh life, being now present. For we seek the counsel of the ancient ones and practice daily the ancient Ma'atian ways and ancient Ma'atian truths. We strive evermore to become one with you in this world and in the existence to come. We ask that you bless and protect us on this, the 151st Haru, day of the year after the Helix rising. 214 Haru, days remaining until Ubin Suptit, Suptit Cyrus rising. Upuat, Samai Tawi, Wet Red Pet Digit Heb New Year's celebration. The seventh Haru day of the fifth Abed month of Apet Tawa Earth. The first Haru day of Tuamutef. The first Haru day of the second Abed month of the second Ertra season of Aket. Renpet year number 14, AFNK/ST, after the founding of New Kemet, Naga Kemet, Samai Tawi, Phenomenon of Precession, New Age Order, Great Golden Age, and Ma'at Hapi Asar. We ask that you bless and protect our families and friends and all those of us who gather together to worship in your most holy, sacred, and glorious ancient Tamarian name of Ast Ermut Wat Nataru Pa Nebu. For in the act of seeking you, there is much comfort. So is it spoken, so let it be written, so let it be done. So shall it be. For now and forever forward, Nebateshera, Panata Apupamaat, Onkwas de Jet, Onkuja Seneb, Uben, Nepike, Paneburima Ati, rising always in divine excellence with Ma'at, every day, all day, every day. Atumra, Protep.
Dua. Words of Macharu. Uh, you have, words of
Commander of the cosmic
Macharu.
forces.
Yeah, you are victorious, righteously great. You have commanded the cosmic forces that allows of us love, guidance, and protection through the daily experience of ponderal matter. Your libation Hesi Saku, affirmation is splendid to the ears of the ancient ones, the Puat Natures, and the ancestors. And we all chant, Dua, Dua, Dua.
Do I, Stephen Nelson. Do I. Okay, all right. So before we even go up further, before I gravitate us to our present moment and synchronize us to the cosmic environment, I would like to recite a few some poetry. And our first poem will be before the Romans and the Greeks. There were 9 days in every week, and time was kept by charting stars that were visible on our calendar. Aware of the movement of the earth, stars, and moon, these ancient African indigenous primordial ancestral peoples were cosmically attuned. And my second poem will be Oh, let not the flames die out. Cherished age after golden great age in the sacred caverns and holy temples cherished, fed by the pure Nagas, Semsurus, Nasubitis, Hemet, Sibasibat, Mutantats, the immortal ones of Ma'at, cherished. Oh, let not the flames die out. And the third poem will be the prophecy states that we will be sent something from the past to join with something from the future, something from the physical world to join with the spiritual world. The Samatawi union of both the past and the future, the physical and the spiritual world will be contained in the revelations of a secret mystic spherical diagram called the Ipeteru Shabitem Tuaru Pamaat to ensure your divine birthright of immortality and to facilitate your journey, voyage, quest of immortality, to be reborn, renew as a star, expanding with the universe forever and ever. Dua, dua, dua. And the last poem will be Anuk Heru. Anuk Heru. I am Heru. I am Heru. I give you my wings so that you may fly. I give you my eyes so that you will never die. Oh, you divine Nagas, Shemsurus, Nasubitis, Hemet, Sibasibat, Natats, the immortal ones of Ma'at, cherished. Gather, gather, come hither, come thither. Rally unto me, and I will lead you to the true, righteous Ma'atian path of immortality. Follow the movement of the stars, Septet, Cyrus, and Ra, and you will find yourself in a perfect state in space and time. Acknowledge the divine cosmic environment that you are seeing and you will desire to acquire the ability to experience the phenomenon of being. Panata Pupamaat, Uncle Jet, Uncle Jasaneb, Ubenefi Kia, Panabu Heru Ma'ati, rising always in divine excellence with Ma'at, every day, all day, every day. Stephen Nelson, it's a pleasure to be back on your platform. I haven't been here for a while, okay? And this platform is the Cave Mysteries, live on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate and I'm humble and to have the opportunity to address your listening viewers. Anuk Ptah Sika Sa, we're broadcasting live to all our listening viewers across America and around the world. Take it away, Siba.
Awesome. So today, again, thank you for joining me today. Um, One of the things that I've been hearing a lot of talk about is times and seasons, the different calendars, what one culture says, what this culture says. One of the things that most people agree on is that the time that we're used to, which we got from the Gregorian and the Julian calendar, is throwing us off. It's messing us up. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of share on your understanding of time, your revelation, your truth regarding time, the benefits and drawbacks, so on and so forth, as it relates to time and your Rosarian calendar, which I do have here.
Yes.
And for anyone interested in connecting with Ptah Seeker Asar and purchasing a calendar from him, which he puts out every year so that you can keep up with the setup of time, just visit his website at theholyhouseofra.com. Make sure you type the whole thing, theholyhouseofra.com. So with that being said, I want to pass it back over to Ptah Seeker Asar. The
Siba,
floor is
Dua,
yours.
Dua Usiba. Yes, that's www.theholyhouseofra.com. So this is not my truth or anything of the calendar. This is our ancestors. I have been working on this calendar for our ancestors, the ancient ones and the Quatnetharus, for 50 years. Okay, and to comprehend this calendar is to first understand why we must reform ourselves, not reform, reform ourselves to our cultural, cosmic, collective consciousness, spirituality, keepers of time. The Gregorian calendar is a Hellenistic paradigm doctrine that is designed specifically to Hellenize and lobotomize your mind. It's the same thing. What we have to prepare for right today. Topic of discussion will be New Year's not. This is not the New Year's that's coming up. You're heading into December 31st, and every year, the same perpetual, vicious, Hellenistic cycle continues to create havoc amongst our people. When you go to Times Square and to watch that mechanical ball descend, everybody on the whole planet is focused in on that time of space of that moment in space and time. And I don't care if you're watching it on TV, live, or if you're there in person, you fall up under the spell of the Hellenistic paradigm doctrines of engineered humanity. Because December 31st cannot be the New Year's. Okay? What is time? First of all, what is time? Time is the movement or measurement of the light through the void of deep dark code space from one point or distance to another. Its speed is 198,000 miles per second. Light is the absence of darkness, and darkness is the absence of light. Light is the giver of Ankh, life, being to all things on the terrestrial plane within the atomic domain. Ankh, life is the consciousness and awareness of being. Ankh, life is the generic expression of the light, and it's only found in three forms: solids, liquids, and gases. Matter, the elements, nature, the netarus. However, the light, atomic energy, the hydrogen atom, Kepra, is not the origins of existence and the creation and development of the universe. The light has a mirrored reflection, and this mirrored reflection is radiation, the cosmic egg, the primeval germ, Ra Nebuchadnezzar. So that's just a brief drive-by to get you to acclimate yourself, because there's so much there's so much foolishness going on. Nobody has temple discipline. I was born in a temple, okay? I'm listening to these people telling me about time. They're telling me the earth is flat. So much stupidity is going on because no one actually understands the primordial concept of time. So, first of all, this is a almost 5,000 year old open open contract on Hellenizing melanated people that was upstarted again in 300 BCE under Alexander, the so-called Great Naga Killer. And when Alexander conquered the known world, he Hellenized everything. What you have to do for you scholars, for you scholars and historians, ecclesiastic and church dignitaries and theologians, because I am not a historian. Okay, I am an our historian. Okay, but for those of you who want to Google, you have to Google the word Hellenistic, Hellenes, the Hellenistic, to be Hellenized. And once you understand what it is to be Hellenized, you understand where we're going to begin to understand how these things begin to take shape and how they begin to attack our cultural spirituality when they begin to migrate down into Tamari or Kemet or Africa or Akulamba, whatever name you have for Africa. When they began to come in is when they Hellenized us, and when they Hellenized us, they took over. They said, "What was it that made these melanated beings, who you call black people? I am not a black person. Why am I a black person? Black is a color. I'm high yellow and pus colored. Ain't nothing black me. I'm melanated. We are melanated." And when you use the word melanated, it takes on another conception, another perspective of universal comprehension, because melanin is the pigmentation of your skin. And melanin can be taken atomically and subatomically or terrestrially and celestially, where we could go from the planet Earth into the origins of existence, which is the darkness in which the light came out of. So we're always going back to that darkness, and that's the melanin. And so keep me on track here, see, because I know I'm dealing with so many people who have not a clue and those who think they're learned ones. But I want to make sure I keep everybody balanced on understanding that on December 31st is not the New Year's, first of all, because it represents the first calendar reform, is what you have to understand. First calendar reform is 754 AUC. For you Googlers who want to check my information, please Google 754 AUC. AUC is an acronym for Ab Urbe Cotita. AB Ab Urbe URBE Cotita, Cordita. Ab Urbe Cotita. Do not put in BC. Do not put in BCE. You have to put in, for the www, you have to put in Ab Urbe Cotita. First calendar reform, 754 AUC. Ab Urbe Cotita. And that's, you're going to come up with the names Eratosthenes and Aristarchus. Once you put in Ab Urbe Cotita 750, they know what you're looking for. They're going to direct you right to this page. But if you don't put in Ab Urbe Cotita AUC, you're gonna be running, you're gonna be ping ponging all around the World Wide Web. I'm trying to lead you right to where you want to be. Okay, and that'll be Eratosthenes and Aristarchus at 754 AUC, which is 250 years before 1000 BCE, which is the Kush kings, the Nubian kings, Aspalta, Pianka, Tahaki, Shabaka, and Aspalta. Okay. And it was during this time that they had control of the Samatawi. They controlled the Samatawi from 1000 BCE to 754 AUC, which is also BCE, but we're using that to bring reference to our conversation. So at this time is when they implanted the mechanism which sent us into our trance. So you have to learn the source first, to then understand the tools and the device that they use to place us as injured humanity. So in 754 AUC is the first calendar reform. They placed us under a lunar cycle calendar, which is about the conversation that Stephen Nelson is going to bring up about the month. Okay? The month is the cycles of the moon. And the lunar cycle calendar governs is an agricultural calendar. It covers the agricultural cycles. It's there to feed you. A lunar cycle calendar can regulate a woman's menstrual cycle, the birthing gestation, the high tides and the low tides, and the inundation and receding of the Nile River. That's all that the lunar cycle calendar can do. It tethers you, it captures you upon the terrestrial plane, and it never frees you. Okay, so that you can never receive your divine birthright of immortality. Every calendar today, whether it's an Ethiopian calendar, a Jewish calendar, a Chinese calendar, it doesn't matter. Make a difference what calendar is. All calendars have 30 days in a month, and if there's 30 days in a month, that means it's a lunar cycle calendar. All this is mathematics. Remember, we in this whole conversation, this whole dissertation, we're going to triangulate our cultural, cosmic, collective, conscious spirituality. We're going to have our sacred science, our divine mathematics, and our cultural spirituality. We're going to add astrology and astronomy. We're going to speak to Medu Netta, to create the resonance, the sound, so that we can have our first day. So that you can walk away from this broadcast here with Nelson on Nelson's platform and have your first day. So every calendar has 30 days, even that Kemetic, phony Kemetic calendar they have today. Okay. I have the Ipetru, Shabitem Tuaru Pamat. Ours is solar, sidereal, and lunar. Why would the Kemetic community just sell me a lunar cycle calendar with 30 days of the month when all it's going to do is feed me? When the solar calendar and the sidereal calendar connects me to Ra and Septet, which connects me to Orion, which connects me to the Pleiades or Alcyone, and then connects me to the Milky Way galaxy. And the Milky Way galaxy is rotate. We're rotating around the Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way galaxy is spinning with the universe, and this is what immortality is all about. Immortality is to expand with the universe because that's what the universe is doing. So if you're not trying to be with the universe, what are you trying to be with? Okay, so here we are. So everybody knows there's nine. Everybody on this planet knows there's 9 days in a week, except for African our people. All scholars know there's 9 days a week because it's in scholarship. Here you go. First calendar reform, 754 AUC. Then Google third, fourth, and fifth calendar. The second, third, and fourth calendar reform is is the decree of Canopus. The decree of Canopus, 1, 2, and 3. And 1, 2, and 3 is from Ptolemy the first, Ptolemy the third, and Ptolemy the fifth, Philadelphia. That's the decree of Canopus is a stela, and on the stela it has a decree, and the decree says that this is now reforming the calendar. But why are they reforming the calendar? Here's the other question. So you got to be able to applicate your science, your math, and your culture spirituality. The reason why, because on a lunar cycle calendar of the month, if you have a monthly calendar, a lunar cycle calendar of 28 and a half days for the moon to go from wax to wane, full moon to full moon is 28 and a half days to 29 days, then every 130 years, one unearned day is added to the calendar. Let me reiterate. Under a lunar cycle calendar, every 130 years, one unearned day is added to the calendar. So you're not going to see it in your lifetime. Your child's not going to see it in their lifetime. Your grandchild and your next child is not going to see it. But 6 generations down, that one day adds up, and on the spring equinox, not talking about the Gregorian calendar, even on the Gregorian calendar, March 21st. But the spring equinox represents when day and night are of equal length. So it doesn't matter what calendar you got. When day and night equals length, that's the spring equinox, okay? And at that time is when you plant the seed. But if you have a lunar cycle calendar, then on that day, after 130 years, multiplied 6 times, the sun doesn't rise in a spot on the spring equinox. It drifts. It's called the sun drift. And the sun drifts so many days ahead of time where if you plant the seed then, you've already missed it by 2 weeks, by 3 weeks, almost a month. So if you plant the seed a month behind, the crops are not going to grow. This is why they figured out. So when they came in and conquered Kemet and they started going down into deeper into Tamari, into the Congo and over to West Africa and everything, and they're implementing the vicious cycle, the vicious charter on us. What happened was the ruler of them people at that time was relishing on their conquest and their riches that his son took over and the other son took over, and they're having orgies, they're partying, they're raping our women, they're placing us in subjugation. And then after a few more 100 years, all of a sudden, the food's not growing. There's no crops. So somebody said, well, why isn't the food growing? They didn't know because they killed most of the people that knew. They cut our tongues out, put us into mental slavery. You know what they did to us. And then someone had to look at the original charter from Eratosthenes and Aristarchus at 754 AUC or Ab Urbe Condita. By the way, in Latin, Ab Urbe Condita means upon the founding of the city of Rome. That's how foolish this planet they put us under that they can see it, but they don't want you to see it. How could Ab Urbe Condita upon the founding of the city of Rome in 754 AUC, when Rome didn't come into existence until 205 BCE. That's 500 years later. So how did Rome even get in the picture? Because they were all manipulating this whole concept of calendar reform to keep us into mental, physical, spiritual, subjugated slavery. So they stole our spirituality. Then they placed us under. They controlled our time. They stole your time. And so bingo. So now we're moving down. After the third, fourth, after the fourth, I mean second, third, and fourth calendar reform, which is the decree of Canopus. The decree of Canopus number three is the Rosetta Stone for you scholars to give you better reference. Okay, the decree of Canopus number three of Ptolemy the fifth, Ptolemy the fifth, Philadelphia, is the Rosetta Stone. It's the fragment of the Rosetta Stone is the decree of Canopus number three, which has a footnote at the end that says that they altered the New Year's date. Okay, they keep altering the New Year's date. So now, the next calendar reform is 46. So we went from three. Alexander was 323 BCE. He died in India. So say Ptolemy took over. He had 18 years. So Ptolemy took over in 302 BCE, maybe. I mean, figure out, do your due diligence. But after Ptolemy, and with the line of Ptolemy, and then went down to 46 BCE, which is Julius Caesar. And Julius Caesar had the Julian calendar. Okay? So it's the Greco-Roman Julian calendar is Julius Caesar calendar reform number four, five, two, three, four. Number five is 46 BCE is the Julian calendar. Just Google it. You're supposed to be a historian. You're supposed to be scholars. I'm not a scholar. I wouldn't even call myself a scholar. I wouldn't insult my ancestors to call myself a scholar. Okay? The scholars are the problem. The scholars are endemic to our future progress. Because if I say that I'm a scholar, that means that I came from the school of Plato. Plato has the first school of scholarship. Google it. So why would I, as a melanated person, say that I went to his school when Plato came to Africa to learn from my school? So Plato is a student of my school, but yet I'm a boasted. I'm a student of his school. It doesn't make sense. It's back to this Jedi mind trick. These are not the droids you're looking for. I'm trying to keep a little comedy here because I know what I'm saying to you. Nobody's catching anything I'm saying. This broadcast is being held for posterity, and you already know if Facebook's taking this off in 30 days. This is just a little precursor to what other broadcasts we're going to do in the future with and I have and which is Nagaship News, Nagaship Neteru News Network. Okay, you'll be hearing a lot of that coming up. But I just want to give you a drive-by, run-by, because I'm trying to prepare you for what's going to happen to you on December the 31st. Because you guys are all Christmas. Oh, you Christmas, the monotheistic concepts and beliefs you have, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and everything else is all monotheism. Monotheism means, mono means Latin for one. All we know is Latin and Greek. Latin means one, mono means one, and theism means the belief in. So monotheism means the belief in one God, and so on and so forth. So I know we're all suffering from PTSS, post-traumatic slave syndrome. So I'm trying to relate this month conversation with the year knot and keep it all flowing because I know once I keep talking, time is going to fly by so quickly. This broadcast is going to be over. So I just want to run you down to the calendar reform. So we're at 46 BCE is the Julian calendar. So the original calendar of mankind, there's 9 days in a week. Everybody knows there's 9 days in a week. There's 4 weeks in a month. There's 36 days. There's 4 weeks of 9 days. 4 times 9 is 36. There's 36 days in a month. That's a solar and a sidereal calendar. A sidereal calendar means that, word for word, okay, I'm not paraphrasing. And if you Google sidereal calendar, it's going to say the amount of time it takes for the star Sirius or Septet to break the plane, to traverse the ecliptic plane, and return to its original position in respect to the fixed stars is a sidereal year. That has 8,766 hours. So that is your mother equation for all those who want to who wants to break this down, because you have to break this down. You have to break it down mathematically, with your sacred science and your spirituality. You know what I mean? Because you have to break it down so it has meaning to you and to the order of existence, the origins of existence and the creation and development of the universe. And what is the whole purpose of existence, of being? All this relates to the calendar. Without the calendar, you're just a mental, physical, spiritual, subjugated slave. That's why they stole the calendar. So how these Kemetic calendars have 10 days in a week? I told them there is 10 days in a week. That's if there's that means that there's 3 seasons. Each season has 30 days. There's 4 months in every season. 120, 120, 120 is 360. Okay? We know that. That's an agricultural aspect of our calendar. But why is the Kemetic community selling us a limit, setting us upon a task of limitations so that we can never achieve our true purpose? So this Ipeteru, this Shabit Dem Tuarupamat. People, by the way, Ipet means to measure in Meduneta, and Heru is the day. One word for a calendar is the Ipeteru. Another word is a Shabit. We use the word Shabit. Mtwa Heru Pamaat, which the Shabit is the shadow. And Twa is the star, and Heru is the day, and Pamaat means in accordance to doctrines of Ma'at. Because the light radiates its light. The sun or the atom, atomic energy or the hydrogen atom, the sun, Ra, radiates its light upon anything. It's going to cast a shadow. Okay, and the sun shines on you. You got a shadow. Ask yourself, what's that shadow? Nobody even knows what the shadow is. Nobody even wants to discuss it. I don't even care, but I know it's following me around all day. You ever find this guy? Let them know that I'm trying to find out the shadow represents. If you have to look at it now, you have to triangulate. Remember, esoterically, as above, so below. So if the light is atomic energy, when it radiates its light upon anything, it breaks it into solids, liquids, and gases, and it hits matter. It creates a shadow. So if the light is atomic energy, then the shadow has to be subatomic. So now you begin to reveal that which was first incomprehensible and unknowable. As you apply these sacred sciences of our ancestors and the teachings of the temple, you're able to see that which people cannot, other ordinary person cannot see or conceive. And this is what these conversations today. We're here to talk about our story, the doctrines of immortality. So now we get to Julius Caesar, 46 BCE. Julius Caesar comes in, the crops aren't growing again because from 323, 300 from Alexander to Julius Caesar, the sun was drifting again. It wasn't that bad that it was a famine, but the crops weren't growing to its full bloom. So Julius Caesar rose up on Sosthenes. All you got to do, he's the vizier of Cleopatra. Just Google it. SOS, Sosog, SOSOG. As soon as you put an SOSEG or whatever, your predictive text is going to come up with his name because WWW thinks that you're a theologian. They think you're a ecclesiastic person who's supposed to have this information to keep all melanated people, all black people down, to keep your foot on a black person's neck. So they're going to lead you right there. Okay, they're going to think you're a theologian or an ecclesiastic. Ecclesiastic is a church dignitary. Is your pastor down the street. Okay, I don't want to, but I just want to just express what's going on. Don't mind me. I'll bring it to your OG. I'll bring it to your NG. I'll bring it to your priestly. Okay. I just want to make sure because I know we got people who think this, think that. I'm just saying I'm the most harmonic and peaceful person there is. But I know we're at war. I have mothers crying. I got babies dying. I got stars aligning, and nobody even knows how to tell times. And our teachers don't even have a clue, and they're running around saying that they're teaching our community, and they don't even know how to tell time. They're not qualified. They couldn't even mop the floor in my temple. The teachers today, I met with them and told them we need to come together under a Samai Tawi. Samai Tawi and Meduneta mean the unification of the two lands. But we're talking about a unification of our people, okay? Under one Ipetru, one Shabit Dem Tuaheru Pamat, one solar civil lunar calendar, and the Neteru, a logical star timeline. See, you're under a chronological timeline, which corresponds with the month, and which means that when you sign that birth certificate under your name, under a Gregorian chronological, just Google it. If you sign the birth certificate of your child or your birth certificate is dated with the Gregorian chronological timeline, That means that you are a prisoner of war of maritime law. And now you're under the corporation of the United States of America. And your birth certificate goes into the stock exchange and is used as what's the word? What's the word? Man, is used as monetary value that they can bargain with your birth certificate because they own you. But anyways, that's another program, another topic. But let's stay with the calendar reform. Calendar reform is Julius Caesar shows up as Sosthenes and Cleopatra. He says because the calendar because the crops weren't growing again. Rome's starving. They had to come to Kemetic so they could so Africa so we could feed them because we grow crops all year round. We always have food. So Caesar said, "Put me on the calendar," because he says, I'm Caesar. Io vidi, io vedi, io veci. Io vidi, io vedi, io veci. Everybody knows io vidi, io vedi, io veci. You don't know that? You got to know Latin, io vidi, io vedi, io veci. They show it on TV every day in all types of TV programs. You got to get up to your understand that io vidi, io vedi, io veci means I came, I saw, and I conquered. I conquered Gaul. I, I took over. Caesar said, io vidi, io vedi, io veci. I conquered Gaul. I came, I saw, and I conquered. I'm Julius Caesar. Put me on the map. So he grabs Socrates by the neck, put his knife there, put his genitals in his body, and he said, "Put me on the map." So we went from 9 days to 8 days. We went from 10 months to 11 months. Julius Caesar, with his stoic self, stoic, and he said they said, "Caesar, don't go to the Senate. Beware the Ides of March." You know the Ides of March. And so Caesar goes to the Senate and he gets stabbed, and Caesar dies. And then came Tiberius, but then came Augusta, his grandson, his adopted grandson. And so Augusta became Caesar. Rome is still battling with Cleopatra, with Anthony, whatever. And so when after he took over Egypt, he said, "I'm Caesar. You'll be. He puts his knife up to his Sosthenes' neck again, puts his genitals in his rectum. You know what they do. You know what these people do. And he said, "Put me on the map." So we went from being 8 days to 7. We went from 11 months to 12. How do we know that? How do you know I'm saying the truth? Because all we know is Latin and Greek. We know that uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez. So if diez is 10, why is December our 12th month? Is nove is 9, why is our 11th month? If the octopus has 8 tentacles and an octagon has 8 sides, so octo is the Latin root word for 8, but it's our 10th month. Why is that? That's because of two historical figures: Julius Caesar for July and Augustus Caesar for August. Don't you never ask yourself why you have July and August? Why? That's why it's 12 months. That's just another thing they put in there to throw you off, okay, to create more confusion. Now, so 46 BCE, we go to, because remember 754 AUC and the drifting of the southern spring equinox every 130 years. If one earned day is added to the calendar, this time is still calculating because this is the order of existence, whether you know it or not. So now you go from 46 BCE to 325 AD. And in 325 AD, you have the Council of Nicaea. And that's what Emperor Constantine. And Emperor Constantine, he gathered all the popes because at that time they had the bishops of Christ. This is how you know Jesus never existed. There is a Christ. There is a Christ because the Christ means the anointed one. The Christ means the deliverer of the breath. The Christ in the temple was known as Lagos Circle 7. This guy, Jesus, never existed. Okay? This is all part of them. These are not the joys you're looking for. But you're going to learn. All you have to do, try to keep it up comedy here because, I'm not here to entertain. I'm not here to babysit you. I'm not here to take your temperature. And I'm sure not here to detain you. Okay? I'm here to to to, to help you remember so that you may acquire the ability to experience the phenomenon of being. So we're going to get the conversation going to go deeper. I just have to go through these scholarship things for these scholars who are watching and these people with PhDs of stupidity that don't know nothing because they don't know how to tell time. They don't know how to eat properly of the living, and they don't know the age-old questions of who am I, where do I come from, why am I here, where am I going, which we're going to discuss on this platform with Nelson. We're going to discuss all these things because this is our culture, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality. But let's just get past the calendar reform. There's only 7 of them, okay? Now we're down to the Council of Nicaea. The Council of Nicaea was supposed to be about, was Jesus, because at that time now, they had the Essene Gospels. There's like 50,000 Essene Gospels of the words of this guy called Jesus. And so he called upon all the bishops, and all the bishops got together and they had a council. And that's called the Council of Nicaea. So this is bishop from Egypt or Kemet. His name is Arian. Arian is from Kemet. So Arian gets to the council, and they want to know, is Jesus the Father, the Son, or the Holy Ghost, or is he all these things, or just what is he? And they told him, well, he's the Father, he's the Son, he's the Holy Ghost. And Arian got up and said, yo, he's none of them things. He's my boy Ptolemy the First, Soter, Serapis, September, Rob, Mary, Amen. Please Google that. For you people, I know I went kind of quick on that. We know I'm talking about your belief system, that Abrahamic, monotheistic, Hellenistic ideology. But let me just, it's in the www public domain. Google Ptolemy the First. Soter, 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 Ptolemy, Soter, Serapis, Ptolemy, Soter, Serapis, September, Mary Ahmed. For those of you who don't have a clue and still run into the church every week to believe in something that got nothing to do with you. It's going to bring about your demise, but I don't want to get into that today. Let's just keep it all pleasant. Just do your due diligence. Just do your due diligence and your own research, okay? And Google it. His name is Ptolemy the First, Soter. Soter in Latin means savior. Serapis, just Google Soter. They got institutions out here called soteriology. Institutions of soteriology. There are institutions designed to understand your belief system. I'm telling you, they got dossiers that they made about you on how you think when you went to the bathroom, when you ate, when you crapped, whenever you did it. It's like, you watch NCIS, you've seen the unsub, the guy that's murdering people. Well, they got a profile. They profiled you. They got a dossier. And anything that got anything spiritual to do with you, it's been redacted. It's all got black marks in it. And the only thing you can read is what's not redacted. Okay, just got to keep a little comedy here, because I'm trying to make sure that you just don't. How many people? We have anybody listening today, or is this?
Yeah.
Are we just with prosperity here? Am I talking to myself, Steve? To the future?
Nah.
To the future?
You got a few people on.
Okay. Dua, panatapo, pamaharan, consideram cujasanem, unifique panaburuma. So, anyways, Council of Nicaea, 325 AD. Just Google it. I'm just trying to help. This is for the scholars, because I'm not a scholar. I'm not a historian. I'm an our historian. Okay, I'm not in the scholarship. I'm in the Naga ship. I'm in the barge of millions and millions of years. Okay, they stole that information that you got in scholarship, was fragmented, corrupted, plagiarized, then regurgitated back to you in an unholy manner and called it his story. History is his story. It got nothing to do with you. Okay, all the annals of history, you got they got their foot on your neck, and you don't even know what you believe in. But we're going to discuss that too. So here we go. Council of Nicaea. Ptolemy the First, Soter, Serapis, September, Amen was said by Arius. That's who the original Jesus was. Okay, so now the main part of this conversation of the Council of Nicaea is, whatever they was talking about, I didn't want to know about it. Okay, I already know what they're talking about, putting us under their neck, our neck. But what's important about the Council of Nicaea is the final chapter or the final page. At the end of it, it says, oh yeah, guess what? We reformed the calendar. They reformed the calendar again. They didn't even specify this. Let's put it in small type for the learning people of the future. It says they moved the New Year's to March 21st on the Gregorian calendar. Not the Gregorian calendar, but the Julian calendar. which meant that they had to keep lining up because after so many hundred years of them raping our land, raping our children, okay, and taking all the resources out the land and plundering everything, they're partying so hard they forget that 100 days added to the calendar every 130 years. So by the time it got to 325 AD, which is the Council of Nicaea, the crops weren't growing again. Hence calendar reform. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I studied this for 50 years. Okay? This is what I've done. All right? This was my job in the temple. So I'm here to reveal this information to you, the mathematical equation, the scientific data, and our cultural spirituality, so that you can make your own deductions and choice. Okay? Because your teachers aren't telling you. And they don't, so they canceled me. I've been canceled. You know, like Diddy canceled everybody. I've been canceled. I've been altered. You know, you go to the computer, you press alter, delete. They deleted me for 20 years. I appreciate that brother Nelson allowed me this opportunity to speak on his platform and on his page. And I like to listen to family. So here we go. That's so now calendar reform was in the Council of Nicaea. Then came 1585 is the Gregorian calendar, which is the calendar that's on your wall. Take down the Gregorian calendar from your wall. And in 1585, Pope Gregory, what he did was he so the spring equinox had drifted almost 2.5 to 3 weeks. That's why nothing was going. That's why back in the Dark Ages, so-called Dark Ages, when they was hiding everything. That's why they call it the Dark Ages, because they was hiding everything that was of Naga, every melanated Naga, megalithic, monolithic construction. They was breaking it down, dismantling it, and covering it with dirt so that they can Hellenize everything. But anyways, at this time, Pope Gregory he waived everybody's debts for 3 weeks. You didn't have to pay no taxes. You had to pay nothing. Everybody's happy. Oh, I can save my dough. And then he implemented the Gregorian calendars with divisions of 400, meaning they had the leap year with 400. And now today, under the Gregorian calendar with divisions of 400, the spring equinox doesn't drift for 3,500 years. So if we didn't catch it now, we'd have never caught it. You'd have been slaves for the duration of the existence of the planet Earth. But that's not how things go. Okay, this is called the meteorological star timeline. Okay, so the Earth, here's the motions of the Earth. So everybody understands that why of the days of the week we can go in there deeper, like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I mean Saturday. Okay, Sunday is the day of Ra, which is the sun. It stays the same basically. So I'll show you how what I did and what they did inside the month. Here we are here. The first day is the day of Ra, which is Sunday. The next day is Monday, which is the day of the moon, right? Because the moon in Spanish is lunes, and lunes means moon. So the next day is lunes, which is moon, which is Jehuti. So Ra's the first day, Jehuti's the second day. Then comes the next day. So now we have to look at it. What I did was I looked at it as I watched and I researched the vizier, chief mortuary architect of Hesosep in the so-called 18th dynasty. And in his tomb, in front of her temple, on his wall of the tomb, just royal, Google the burial chamber of Senumet, Senumet. He was the chief mortuary architect of Hesosep. And in his tomb, you'll see Apet in the middle with a big spike of something, and there's telluric forces and its relationship to the ley lines and conductivity, discontinuity, the ley lines and the telluric forces that release from the earth and everything. And behind the first on the right, you'll see 9 deities with sun disk on their head. And the first one was Ast, and the second one was Mesta. Then I seen Happy. Then I seen Twelvetep. Then I seen Quebsanough. And then I seen Haru. There was some more behind them, but it was miscellaneous. I couldn't read in Medunetta. But that was 18th dynasty. So everything was so corrupted then. That's what survived then. So what I did was I looked at it in the eyes of our most earliest ancient African indigenous primordial ancestors, the early hominins, Australopithecus africanus humanus, the first humans on this planet, human beings who stood up with a straight back. If you stand with a straight back, you're a hominin. A hominin, that's in anthropology. And that means that you're a human being. And these hominins, these Australopithecus africanus humanus have looked up in the sky and they seen the sun was the most powerful force. So the sun becomes the first day. Then, as we're coming to the earth, there's a celestial object in the middle. That's the moon. So the moon becomes the second day. So there's the first day. There's the second day. Now, from the second day, you move into the earth, and you're on the earth. So the next day is Seb, which they call Tuesday. Tuesday is the Roman goddess Tui, the Roman goddess of vegetation. And Tuesday in Spanish is Martes. So Martes falls under the planetary guide of Mars. I'm just trying to relate this to you scientifically, mathematically, and trying to give you all the facets of comprehension that you can apply this to yourself and you can get. But I'm telling you what I did. And I made it so that it's generically in with the order so that it's going to last for another 2,500 years, 2,100 years plus. I'm trying to shoot for 226. I'm shooting for a whole great year. But anyways, the next day is, and so we're on the earth. And oh, there you go, Siva. That's my brother. Oh, we got PowerPoints too. Go ahead. So the next day, that Seb is that day with the goose. The goose is Seb. Now you're learning how to read, write, and speak Medunetta on Nelson's platform. What else you got for these family? Oh my goodness. The next day is us. See it with the throne. See above us? There's a throne. That red, that's the throne. That throne represents her name. It's us. It's not Isis. It's not Aset, the most primordial form of pronunciation of Medunetta of her name is Ast. Ast. So so we're on Earth. So the next deity is because when you're on Earth, you look to the left and you look to the right. What do you see? You see nature. You see Mother Nature. So that's the day of Ast. Now you're with Mother Nature on the Earth, and you're collecting all the food, the seeds, your fruits and vegetables. You're harvesting, and now you have to align yourself to the cardinal point, to the elements, and that's what the next four deities are. The next four deities. Oh, I don't even need this. I'm putting this still up to the TV. I'm putting it up to the screen though, and you got the PowerPoint still up there. My goodness. So the next you're moving faster than I'm thinking here. That was good. That was very beautiful of you, Nelson. Thank you very much. So, the next 4 days is the four children of Heru, who are the Shemsu Herus. And these Shemsu Herus' names are Mester is number one. Mester. The next one has the dog head. That's Hapi. The next one has the jackal head. That's Tuamutep. And the next one is Quepsina. So that's Tuesday. We go to Wednesday on the Gregorian calendar. Wednesday, we go up from Rome, from Twi, Roman, we go up to Norway, to Norwegia, to the Vikings. And they call it Wednesday, which was Woden. Woden was Odin. And Odin is Wednesday, and Wednesday in Spanish is Mercury. So that was under the planet Mercury. Then came Thor had a son. Odin had a son named Thor. And Thor becomes Thursday. And Thursday in Spanish is Jueves. And that's Jupiter. So now I'm trying to break down the equivalence of the relationship to this Gregorian calendar to our original calendar so you can see what they did. All they did was corrupt, fragment, plagiarize, and regurgitate it back to you in an unholy manner. Now comes the last day would be Quebsina. So if Mesta and Medunetta means Mes means to be born of, the Ptah is the earth. So Mesta is born of the earth. Hapi is the river, is the river Nile. And then comes Tuamutep. Twa is the star. Then behind it is a vulture, a vulture. And then there's the T, the alphabetic symbol for T, and an F for masculine. So Twa is the star. Mut is the equivalent to saying mother. And T is to represent femininity of Mut. And F is for him. So he was the star of his mother. That's what his name means in Medunetta. We're just breaking this whole thing down. See the star of the jackal head? The one that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the seventh one from the left. Look above his head, you see the Medunetta. You see a star. You see a vulture. Then the T is a half circle. and the horned vespa. Okay, and the next one is Quebsanoth, is the falcon with these symbols on his head, which represents Sen. Okay, it's Queb. Queb is a vase with water coming out of it, means purified. And the three symbols underneath, besides behind it, is Sen. Sen means brothers. And there's F. There's the F again, the upon Vipa, meaning um, masculine. So he was the purification of his brothers. That was his name, Quebsanoth. There was Twamuth, there was Mr. Happy, Twamuth, and Quebsanoth. And the last day would be Heru, which would be equivalent to Saturday, which is on the Saturn planetary. And then we have Thursday was Webber. Oh yeah, Friday. Friday is the day Friday on the Gregorian week represents Frigga. Frigga is the Roman goddess of conjunctional merriment. Okay, you know what you do on Friday when you get paid. You know you go to the Eagle Flies, you go freak off. It's the freak night. All the freaks come out. You know what I mean? And Frigga had a mate or consort who was called Bacchus. Bacchus is the guy who got the grapes on his head with the flute with two stems with a flute instrument that has two stems coming out of it. That's Bacchus. You got the underwear. You got underwear that got Fruit of the Loom and got the guy with the grapes on his head. That's Bacchus. Okay, just to relate to you how they got the days of the week. Okay, and then they got 12 months of the year. The first month is Janus. Anyway, we can get past this Gregorian thing because we're moving out of time. It's 6 o'clock. We're already an hour in. But I'm just trying to relate to you what's happening on this December 31st. When you reach December 31st, they designed a way to electromagnetically to tether you from, to Hellenize you and lobotomize you. And this is so they're trying to separate you from this tethering to your cultural spirituality. So now, why is so if December 31st is not the New Year's, then when is the New Year's? So, first of all, you have to understand there's three motions to the Earth. The Earth rotates on its axis. And every time it rotates, it's 24 hours and 35 minutes or 24 hours. Today, it's 24 hours because its second movement is to revolve around the sun. It rotates on its axis 24 hours, then it revolves around the sun. And it revolves around the sun, it takes 365 and a quarter days. That's motion number two. Motion number three, you got them PowerPoints, because I know I'm flying over everybody's head here. Okay, but a little bit, some PowerPoints would really help help with the digestion. And then, so the Earth is tilted 23 degrees, 23 and a half degrees from vertical. That's vertical. It's tilted 23 and a half degrees and makes the Earth wobble. They teach you this in grade school, but they don't teach you no more because if they taught you what happens after the wobble, it's no longer his story. It becomes our story. Because when the Earth is tilted 23 and a half degrees, it wobbles. And one complete wobble is 26,000 years. This 26,000 years called the phenomenon of precession. Now, once you bring up the conversation of the phenomenon of precession, all that Hellenistic Gregorian, we step beyond the door of European comprehension. We are now in our domain, into our story. And this is where they want this conversation to go. So I can guarantee you, we'll say in another 15 minutes, the United States government is getting ready to shut down Google. They're gonna shut down Facebook. They're gonna shut down this page. They're gonna shut down this transmission because we are broadcasting across America and around the world at this particular moment. And I want everybody to take time out to support me on my trip to Kemet in July 15th. We're going for 2 weeks. We want to be there for July 25th when you see the star and the sun rises together on the Neolonic meridian, and that indicates that our Earth has made one complete revolution of the sun, and that represents scientifically, mathematically, with your cultural, cosmic, collective, conscious spirituality, the New Year's. So that's what we're going into the New Year's, and we wanted to make sure that you take down the Gregorian calendar from your wall and go to www. We'll take time out, pause for the cause, and www.ptahoriginals.com. Anybody have any questions in the meantime? Is there a chat room set up, Seba?
Yeah, no questions so far. I
I
have
know
one
I'm
though.
moving. I know you do. But anybody
So,
else just take your time. Write it down, and we'll get back to it. You know what I mean? We're only family here. And take down the Gregorian calendar from you all. Go to www.ptahoriginals.com. Spend a couple of dollars and help out your Siba Ptah on his trip to Kemet. Go to www.ptahoriginals.com or go to dollar sign lower caps PTAH Ptah ASAR Ptah Sa. That's my cash app. You know, somebody could just say, "Yo, Ptah, we sent you a penny. We sent you 2 pennies. I don't want no money from you. I just want you to buy a calendar. I'm not asking you for no money because that's how they get all of our speakers with taxes. So I'm looking for you to buy a book, buy a calendar, and my book, The Cosmic Egg. We haven't even got over to my book yet. We're still here, an hour into the show, and we're still talking about the calendar. I'm trying to get everybody to understand what's going to you got to prepare yourself for on December 31st. But before we get back to this conversation of the mathematical equation of the year and how you relate to your ancestors, let's go to Nelson to our Seba to see what he has to add in and what questions he had.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So on the Rasarian calendar, we're currently in the month of Apit or Ta'art. If you could talk a little bit about that specific netcher, for the people who might be a bit unfamiliar.
Yes, 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 absolutely. Tawa Earth is the hippopotamus goddess. If you are a scholar and you understand the zodiac of Dendra, if you look in the center of the zodiac of Dendra, you will see a hippopotamus goddess with with Heru hovering over a jackal and a frog and a dog. And but the hippopotamus goddess represents her name is Apet, but her name also is Tawa Earth. Tawa Earth. And Tawa Earth in Medunetha means Ta means the earth. Wa Earth. Earth means great. And Wa Earth Wa represents means on top of. So Tawa Earth means that she who governs on the top of the earth. And she governs this month because this is the month of the solstice. And the solstice represents in the northern hemisphere when the circumpolar stars are in tune with Tawa Earth. And this in tunes you to Tawa Earth to the circumpolar stars, which connects to Ra, Sirius, Orion, Pleiades, to the Milky Way galaxy. This is your connection. This is your cosmic breadcrumb. So Tawa Earth represents the circumpolar stars. And the circumpolar stars is our North Star. What is our North Star, everybody? Our North Star is what? Polaris. If you're on the sea, you better know where Polaris is. You're not going nowhere. That's your North Star. You follow Polaris and you're going to go north. From north, you can go anywhere. Okay? But that's one of 4 pole stars. The 4 pole stars are Theban, Vega, Draco, and Polaris. These are the names that they were given to us through European etymology. All right, that's not their original names. Okay. All right. So, but each one governs for 6,500 years. 6,500 and 6,500 is 12, 13,000 years. And 13,000 and 13,000 is 26,000 years. Okay. Remember, the earth rotates on its axis, it revolves around the sun 365 and a quarter days, and then it's tilted 23 and a half degrees up from vertical, which makes it wobble. That's the 26,000 years. That 26,000 years, our sun has to go through each and every house of the phenomenal precession, which you call a zodiac, which your teacher calls a zodiac. We don't use the word zodiac because there we go. We got schematics. Now we got some schematics. There we go. We don't use the word zodiac because that means you're Hellenizing me. That means you're lobotomizing me. That means that you're defrequentizing me so that I can never reach my true potential because you set me on a path of limitation. So who would even do that? To Hellenize me, it becomes endemic to my future existence. So your teachers are teaching, black on black crime. When a black man goes out to kill another black man, for those of you who don't know what endemic means, please Google this word, endemic. That word is very important for our cultural survival because most people don't even know what it means. But you'll hear the word all the time. That's endemic. That's endemic. Find out what it means. Our teachers are perpetuating an endemic cycle. Because I'm showing you what today, that if you listen to what I say today, you'll be smarter than your teacher in the morning. Because your teacher won't even engage with me. They won't talk to me. I've been canceled. I've been altered. You know, you get on the computer, alter, delete, but you can't delete me. Try deleting the sunlight. Try deleting the air that you breathe. Try deleting the earth that you stand on. Okay? Try deleting the water that flows and the air that blows. Okay? I'm part of the ancient ones, the more than ones in my heart. But anyways, let's continue with the conversation of you were saying the question again, sir. Seba, get me back
Yeah,
on point again. You know I
yeah.
stopped you.
Just wanted to talk a little bit about the month that we're in, about what
Right.
should people expect? What's the energy of the month?
Yes.
Why is it so important that it's Apit right now?
Oh man. And right now it's the northern hemisphere. You got the meteor showers that are happening. We're at a certain part of the rotation of the earth around the sun. And on January 25th, another planetary alignment is going to occur. Another planetary cosmic alignment is going to occur in this Abet, and Abet is Medunetta for month. In this Abet month, so I try to use our indigenous Medunetta words before I use the European corruption words. But in this Abet month of Apet, Tawa Earth, in January, which Tawa Earth, let's see, Tawa Earth should last up to the last day is Monday, January the 20th on the Gregorian calendar. See? So when you open up a Kemetic calendar, if you don't see 9 days, then that's not a real calendar. It's not an African calendar. That's a Gregorian calendar. That's a slave calendar. That's another way for African melanated people to perform something that's endemic again. I found my Kemetic counterparts selling calendars, African calendars, saying they're Kemetic calendars. And when you open it up, there's 7 days in a week. So if you buy a Kemetic calendar that has 7 days in a week, it's not an African calendar. It's a Gregorian calendar. Okay, it's a lunar cycle calendar. So why would they continue to do anything when I'm asking them to come together and reconcile? Let us reconcile. Let's come together in the Abakaku, in the spirit of the Samatawi, under one Ipeteru, under one Shabit Dem Heru Pama, so that our children can benefit. Because the longer that they resist this Samatawi, that means they're working, they're agents. Your teacher is an agent. Okay, I don't want to go further than that because I can go deeper in that. I don't even want to listen. I'm telling you that our pet, in the month of our pet coming up, you ought to be in tune with the cosmic forces that are benevolent to your divine receiving of the cosmic vibrations and the solarization. And our planets are all going to line up. There's gonna be a conjunction, a planetary conjunction. And all these planets are gonna line up with our sun, Ra. And Ra is going to line up with the star Sirius, Cyrus A and Cyrus B. And then Cyrus Septet is going to line up with the constellation of Orion, the three stars of Orion with Betelgeuse. And that constellation is going to line up with the Pleiades and Alcyone. And Alcyone is on our quadrant of it rests on our quadrant of the Milky Way galaxy because from an aerial view, our galaxy looks like it's spinning like a hurricane. And one of them arms is called a quadrant. And that quadrant is lined up to the center of the Milky Way galaxy. And it's lining up to all the way into the subatomic energy to the creator where we could go right into the primordial ocean of nothingness. We could bring you from the terrestrial level to the atomic level to the subatomic right into the primordial ocean with this galactic lineup that's going to happen on January 25th in the Abet month of. And that's why this calendar is so important. It relates to you and your family and your children and your grandchildren. It perpetuates the future, and that's just for the month of Abet. But you have to be able to relate to each and every aspect of this Ipeteru Shabitem Tuaru Pamaat. And so, can I continue now, Sima? Or you have another question?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So now, that's how does the calendar relate to your cultural, cosmic, collective consciousness, spirituality? Because we just relate to it mathematically. We put a little science in there. How does it relate to your cultural spirituality? Remember, you got to be triangulating. This is metaphysics. You got to hit each right angle, and you have to relate to it consciously with cultural, cosmic, cognitive. Okay, so here we go. The Earth rotates on its axis. The Earth revolves. It rotates on its axis. 24 hours and 35 minutes is the original time of the one day. But on the second motion, it revolves around the sun. Is 360 days. So there's only 360 days in a year. There's 360 days in a circle of our favorable position in our solar system. So why is there 360? Where did the extra 5 days come from? This is the problem they couldn't figure out. And they couldn't adjust it mathematically, so they had to put in a leap year and to place it under a lunar cycle calendar to finesse us. But when they put it on the lunar cycle calendar, remember the one unearned day every 130 years, which created these calendar reforms. So, because their calendar is perpetual, is another Latin word. All we know is Latin and Greek. And in Latin, perpetual is what that Gregorian calendar means. It means that if January the 1st, hypothetically, was on a Monday, the next year it's on a Tuesday, the next year it's on a Wednesday, next year it's on a Thursday. And the next year it jumps to Saturday because they got a leap year. Okay? So this means that so after 7 years, the star that was in the sky at your birth is no longer in the sky. It already descended. Which means that if the star of your birth is not in the sky, it's not your birthday. So they actually stole your birthday. And you don't even know this. And your teacher's not even telling you that. Nobody's giving you no increments on what's really happening to you so that you can start to say, I mean, you're supposed to be smart people, intelligent people, graduates. You're supposed to be a gangster from the street. You're supposed to be OG, whatever it is that you're into. And you ain't figured this out. What are you really into? You're a mental, physical, spiritual subjugated slave. It's called PTSS, post traumatic slave syndrome. And it's generational. And then it becomes contraband because now every black person, when you roll up in New York, you're gonna get hustled. Hustling is the game. Everybody got their game. Everybody got their brand. They got their brand. They're marketing their brand, and they don't care how much pain or suffering that they bring upon you, long as they come up and they got to come up, and that everybody's getting rich on us. The same way that the Europeans have making money and surviving on us for 4,000 years. Our own people are doing it to our own people to keep us mentally subjugated. Everybody. They won't talk to me because they know that I'm talking about Ma'at, true Ma'at, cosmic Ma'at. And cosmic Ma'at, universal Ma'at, is interference. Interference is the principle of spirit that is the one constant that affects change in the ever changing universe. It is a spirit of continuation and development. It is a force that causes change and alteration. It is unceasing, unaltering, and always at work. Water that is found in three forms, solids, liquids, and gases, are elements that bears witness to interference. Changes in nature occur at random, caused by storm, drought, or environmental relapse. Interference is all of these things. It is the reasons for the colors of light. It is the reason that radiation radiates. It is the master of depth. It cannot die. There is no force in the universe that is older than this. Before radiation, there was only oblivion, and the spirit of interference existed then. This spirit cannot be isolated from anything. It has something to do with everything. So if somebody tells you about Ma'at, your teacher tells you about Ma'at. Oh, what is truth? What is right? What is just right? Reciprocity. That's something they regurgitated off of the World Wide Web. They Googled it. Can they tell you how it represents your cultural, cosmic, collective, cosmic spirituality? It's all in my book, The Cosmic Egg, aka The Primeval Germ, A Journey of 59 plus 21 Zeros. Available online at www.theholyhouseofra.com. Okay, that's my book. We haven't even got into my book because we're trying to get you up to, because we're going to take you, we're going to tell you, me and Nelson's getting ready to tell you in a minute to fasten your seatbelt, buckle up, put on your oxygen mask, because we're getting ready to go inside the primeval ocean of nothingness. We're going to have you breathing water in a second here into the primordial ocean of your essence, to the origins of existence and the creation, development of the universe. Inside this book is the RSGUT, the Rosarian Star Grand Unification Theorem. E plus P equals L. E energy plus P power equals L/B equals life, Ankh, being. Okay? But I don't want to blow anybody's mind right now. I want to keep y'all stable. I don't want y'all, I don't want the little Gerber in your brain in that wheel running around your brain and start having an oxygen attack. But go on, Nelson. Want
Yeah.
to bring a conversation?
Yeah, so we're actually running out of time. We're gonna start to wrap up. So y'all got to hear some new things. Some of y'all got to hear some new things. Again, if you want to actually purchase a calendar, get one yourself so you can have it, keep up, know when's when, what's happening, and when, things like that. holyhouseofra.com. There it is on the screen there. Also, if you want to partner with Ptah Asar, helping him get to Kemet, his Cash App, $ Ptah Asar.
And my GoFundMe also.
Yeah. So
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, so those are a few ways. Mind you, if you add him on Facebook, you'll be able to see everything that he's got for the most part. Um, he does classes. Are you still doing your classes right now?
Every Friday evening, yes, the same classes.
Okay, so every Friday evening he has a class available. Reach out to him on Facebook at Ptah Asar. You'll be able to find out what it takes to join the class, when the classes are, what time, what's needed, so on and so forth. So reach out to him on Facebook. You want to buy a calendar, the Holy House of Ra. Um, Now, if you're interested in connecting with me and what I got going on, just go to my website, caveofmystery.org. There you'll find all the courses, classes, materials, things like that. Anything related to what I got going on, you can find on my website. So, Siba, Patad, you have any final words you want to share with the audience before we close out?
Yeah, my final words might take 2 hours, so let me just set it down. This down. Okay, so don't forget to buy the calendar. And the calendar New Year's is July 25th on the Gregorian calendar. July 25th is the heliacal rising. The star Septet rises with Ra on the Nilotic meridian, which is in Kemet in Africa, where the Nile Delta is at the top. It runs straight down into Ethiopia, down to Sudan, down into Naphtali, straight down to South Africa. That's called the Nilotic meridian. And this star and sun rises there on July 25th on the Gregorian calendar. That's called the heliacal rising. And on that, when that happens, that means the heliacal rising means the sun. When the sun comes up, a star appears alongside the sun. It's the only time that you ever see the sun and the star in the sky at the same time. It doesn't happen. Only time it happens is on this morning. And on this morning, that's called a heliacal rising. That's Ra and the star something. They're binary stars. They do a binary dance. Every 1,461 years, it's at its closest, it's perihelion. And then every 1,461 years, it's at its furthest, it's perihelion. And they do a binary dance. And when this is called the heliacal rising. And at this time represents the time that on July 19th is the 360th day of the year. The next 5 days are not accounted for. They're accounted for by observance. They're accounted for by fasting, prayer, festival, celebration, and observance. And on these days, we celebrate the birthdays of the first netches that were born of the womb of Newt, begotten of Seb. And these five netches are called the first ancestors. So when you hear your teachers or any other fool on the street talking about my ancestors, if they don't know about your first ancestors, what are you talking about? That's why you need this calendar to zip it through. Your first ancestors are the first earth netches born on the earth. Their names are Heru Asa, Sut, Ast, and Nebhet. These are the five children of Nut, begotten of Seb. Asa and Ast gave union and gave birth to Heru. And Heru and Heru gave birth to the Shemsuerus. I am of the descendants of the Shemsuerus. So when I close this up, I want to answer for you the four mastering questions that the Europeans came down to Africa to find out, to try to find some type of connection to this planet. And the four questions are: who am I? Where do I come from? Why am I here? And where am I going? Who am I? I am a Shemsuru. I am a Naga, a Shemsuru, a Nesubiti. I am a Siba Sibat. I am a Mutnatat. I am an immortal ones of Ma'at cherished. Where do I come from? I come from the direct issue, the direct issue of Ra Nebuchadnezzar. Why am I here? I am here to acquire the ability to experience the phenomenon of being. And where am I going? I am going to be Ra-born, Ra-new, as a star, expanding with the universe forever and ever. Dua, dua, dua. And to close it up, I can either close it up, I can give him the Hesse. I mean, I can give him the creation, or we can close it up. It's up to you. Because you know me, I got nothing but energy for my family.
We'll close it up. Thank y'all for
Okay.
joining us today.
And
Hopefully y'all learned something new.
I like to say, close this with the words of our paternal father, Asar Unefa Kentiamenti, when he says, within the whole of the universe, nothing is ever added, and nothing is ever added, and nothing is ever lost. Panata Pupamaat, Uncle Estejet, Uncle Jasaneb, Ubenepikir, Panebu Heru Mati. I want to thank you again, Nelson, for allowing me the opportunity to be on your platform. I am honored. I am humbly honored, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Dua, dua, dua.
Dua.